The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. A man who has been beaten by a snake jumps when he sees a piece of string. For 60 years, Africa has been beaten by the snake of humanitarian aid. We remember the 1990s. We remember the IMF and World Bank structural adjustment that gutted our hospitals and left our children to die of preventable diseases. We remember how health aid was often a Trojan horse for foreign intelligence and the theft of African biological data. This is why the youth are angry. They see the United States, the same power that Traoré has challenged on military and diplomatic front, now offering 147 million. The proverb says, when the fox preaches to the chickens, check the lock on the coup. But Ibrahim Traoré is not a chicken. He is the giant of the Sahel, and he has rewritten the rules of the coup. So my brothers and sisters, calm down. To see the genius of this deal, we must look at what happened across the continent on the very same day. The Zambia rejection. On February 25th, 2026, the government in Harare collapsed health negotiation with Western partners. Why? Because the West demanded total control over the digital health data of Zimbabwean citizens. Zimbabwe said, our data is our sovereignty, and they walked away. The Zambia struggle. In Lusaka, health those have been criticized for keeping Zimbabwe in a circle of consultant dependency, where 60% of the money goes back to American experts rather than local doctors. The Traoré masterstroke. Burkina Faso signed. Why? Because the clauses are fundamentally different. Traoré did not sign a gift agreement. He signed a co-investment pact. In this deal, Burkina Faso is putting up 107 million US dollars of its own money. Why? Because in international law, the one who pays the most owns the result. By co-financing, Traoré ensures that the US cannot claim ownership of the data or the facilities. He is using American money to supplement Burkina Faso wealth or Burkinabe wealth. The biggest fear of the youth is that this deal brings foreign spies into the country under the guise of doctors. But look at the sustainability clause in this 5-year pact. Every health worker funded by this 147 million must be integrated into the Burkina Faso national health workforce. This means that after 5 years, the US cannot pull out and leave a vacuum. The doctors will be Burkinabe, the labs will be Burkinabe, and the expertise stays in the Sahel. This is about infrastructure. Traoré is using this money to fund the agricultural offensive indirectly by ensuring the farmers in the rural provinces are healthy enough to work the land.
Wait, what am I missing? Guys, I just found out that Burkina Faso is among the African countries that have signed the controversial US health funding agreement. Yes, Burkina Faso. They signed a $147 million deal with the United States, set to last 5 years. Just for the record, Zambia and Zimbabwe said no, citing national interest and sovereignty concerns, but Burkina Faso said yes. So now the real question is this a contradiction or calculated strategy? Are the conditions different, or are governments simply calculating risk differently? This isn't just about health. It's about sovereignty. It's about influence. And when a country known for rejecting Western pressure signs a deal that others refused, maybe the real question is, what are we not being told? Thank you all for watching this video, and drop your thoughts down there in the comments.
US has signed 147 million US dollars health agreement with Burkina Faso here in West Africa, aiming to strengthen healthcare and regain influence in West Africa's Sahel region. This move is part of Washington's effort strategy to counter increasing Russian and Chinese influence in the area. Washington is attempting to reassert the presence without deploying troops. Are you hearing? This is what is happening right away. So Zambia and Zimbabwe has rejected this healthcare framework from Washington. They pushed back against this Washington healthcare framework, raising concern over sovereignty and conditionality. They demand for revision to ensure that national priorities are not dictated by the foreign powers. Guys, this is what is happening right away in Burkina Faso. Not that they are about to sign. No, they have already signed this health care framework in Burkina Faso worth 147 million US dollars. What do you think? Drop your comment on the comment section. Before you do so, please like this video, share and comment. I beg you, help me, support me by liking my videos. Stay tuned, more news are still coming.
He is building the University Hospital of Pala and creating a network of mobile clinics that move with the people. He's not building a US clinic. He is building a Burkinabe health shield. The youth call it a betrayal. Traoré calls it strategy. The proverb says, a wise man uses the fire of his enemy to warm his own house. Washington is terrified of infectious diseases like Marburg or anthrax crossing their borders. Traoré knows this. He is using their fear as a leverage. He told them, if you want global health security, you will pay to build our laboratories. You will provide the technology that you use to hide from us. This is the same leader who, in 2025, rejected the Trump administration's deportation deal and told the US to respect African dignity. He hasn't changed. He is simply diversifying his tools. He gets drones from Iran, security from Russia, and health tech from the United States. This is the definition of multipolar diplomacy. He is not following anyone. He is leading everyone to African table. So we need to be so excited and proud of our leader. To the youth on social media, look at the dates, look at the figures. In 2025, malaria deaths in Burkina Faso dropped by 48% because of Traoré's internal effort. This new 147 million deal is the reward for the success. We are no longer repeating the mistakes of the 1990s. We are not taking loans that our grandchildren will pay. This is a grant secured by Burkinabe co-financing to build a future where we don't need the West at all. Captain Ibrahim Traoré hasn't bowed. He has simply realized that a revolution who cannot heal his people is a revolution who will not last. The giant of the Sahel is standing tall, and he is using every resources available to ensure that when the dust settles, the Sahel is not just free, it is flourishing. Is this the smartest move in African history, or we are still playing a dangerous game? Drop your comments below. Let the youth know. The captain is still in control. Africa mama, Africa oye. We need to be relaxed. I know a lot of people will come on social media to try to paint our captain black, just like what happened with the IMF deal. Even though some of you don't see the necessity of that video, but it is very important because these people will come out with evidence based on the Western narrative, and this is going to change the lives and the minds of a lot of us in Africa. Majority of us are still growing. It's not everybody that has reached the stage whereby we can see the lies from the truth and we can see the propaganda from the oppressor. So sometimes when we see things of this sort, we try to clarify, because even some Pan-Africans were shocked because they did not give the detailed explanation of this. They only told us about the money Captain Ibrahim Traoré received and signed. And this is going to bring a lot of Africans' spirit down towards the Sahelian leaders. But when we come out with this explanation, a lot of people will relax. So that is what happened with the IMF. And these people are many on social media trying to fight the captain. So if some of you think that when we talk about these things, it's not necessary, please, you have to rethink again. Because a lot of us, like Captain Ibrahim Traoré said, are still sleeping. And some are not trying to come out. So when they hear from our side and listen to the other side, there's so much that will be going on in their head, because these ones will not open up to them what is happening. You understand? You and I can see through the lies, but majority of us can't. So sometimes we need to be patient. When we see things and we are talking about them, you just have to move along. Because my followers were asking about this IMF deal on TikTok. And I need to clarify what happened. And it wasn't only me. I've seen that some Pan-Africans were also asked by their followers on TikTok, and they have to make videos concerning that. So we need to understand that we are not all at the same level. So because of the majority that are still at the bottom, we need to always try to grow with them, because they are more than us and we need to win them instead of allowing these people to control them. Whoever controls the information controls the mind and has the power. And these ones are always making sure they push the narrative that helps them far than what we have. Captain will never disappoint us. The leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are all in us, will never disappoint us. Anything that they do is for our own interest, because they know, they've read the history and they will never repeat history. That is why our all in all brought out 107 million US dollars, so that the US cannot control us like they're trying to do with Zambia, with Zimbabwe, with Kenya, and the rest of the African countries that signed this pact. How do you expect them to give you this money, 1 billion, and at the end of the day, they wouldn't demand for things that they need, demand for your resources? But with this in Burkina Faso, they are not demanding for resources, they are not demanding for anything. Captain sets the rules and they must obey. That is the beauty of this pact, because we need their knowledge that they are hiding away from us for all these decades. So at the end of the day, the African will be self-sufficient when the revolution is finally over, where we can sit down and say Africa is powerful. And we can only be powerful when we have everything that we need. We can be sick in that revolution and still be traveling to Washington for health care. So because of that, we need that. And this time around, we control the game because we have the largest contribution. And because of that, we decide the rules. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall. And united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world in Africa, West Africa, and in Burkina Faso.